postpartum depression affects 1 in about every 7 women who give birth, but not much is known about what happens in the brains of pregnant women who experience it. Dr. David Geier is here to break down the findings that really constitutes the first evidence postpartum depression is associated with changes in the brain. Thanks for being here.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. Yeah, this is really interesting because it's a new avenue looking at a very common problem.
Yeah, so explain what researchers found.
So what they did is they took 88 women, no history of psychological or psychiatric issue, no neurologic issue, going through pregnancy for the first time. They also had a control group of women who were not pregnant. They did brain scans in the 3rd trimester and then in the month after delivering, and they gave questionnaires with all these symptoms, basically looking for postpartum depression. And they found 2 parts of the brain were significantly changed, and they increased in size in women with symptoms of postpartum depression.
Yeah, getting really scientific here. It has something to do with like the fluid in the brain and parts of the brain?
Yeah, and it was volume changes, largely due to edema in 2 parts. One was the amygdala, which is involved in processing emotions, and that was in the women with more symptoms of depression in the first month. The other is what's called the hippocampus, increased in size in women who had difficult or very stressful childbirth situations. So it was 2 different parts of the brain. What was interesting was the larger the size increase, the worse the symptoms. Now, what's interesting, or what's hard to know, is which direction does the association go? Was it the brain change that led to the emotional issues, or was there something about the childbirth stress and the emotions that led to changes in the brain? And so that's what we don't know.
Yeah, really interesting. Of course, this poses even more questions that we ask. Is there anything that we can take from this study that now, women can know what to look out for to maybe, anticipate some of these emotions that they may experience?
Well, I think there's 2 parts. One is that this is the first step in helping us figure out who's more at risk than others. Obviously, all women going through childbirth are at risk. You mentioned 1 out of 7 women, but potentially we can narrow that much more down with more information about specifically why some women develop these changes in their brain and some don't. So I think that is potentially helpful. But then even longer term than that, potentially might outline some future treatments, which will be really interesting.
Yeah, of course, everyone after birth experiences that massive hormone drop. This just adds to the stress of all of that. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Any tips that you can give people when they're talking to their doctors?
Yeah, I mean, and that's all, we say that all the time, but obviously talk to your doctor. But it's, there's the mild symptoms, the so-called baby blues, the difficulty sleeping, crying a lot, being nervous or agitated in the first couple weeks. This is where it gets more severe than that. And there's so much stigma against this. It's not even just talking to your doctor, it's talking to your family members and friends. And maybe it's just normal things, but just getting, talking about it, talking to other people, they may have perspective you don't about, all right, maybe this is something you should talk to your doctor about.
Yeah, of course, the supportive family and partner goes a long way in helping to recover from something like this. All right, Dr. David Geier, thanks for being here.